Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 2017 budget meeting. Today we have the overview of the 2017 operating and capital budget forecast, as well as a discussion on the rates and fees for 2017. Before we proceed any further, any member of the public wishing to speak further regarding an issue on the 2017 Budget Committee agenda for today may appear before Council at its meeting on December 12, 2016 at 7 p.m. when the recommendations from this meeting will go forward for final consideration. If you wish to speak as a delegation, please sign the sheet located at the back of the room or notify the Clerk's Department no later than noon the day of the Council meeting. Any PowerPoint presentations must also be forwarded to the Clerk's Department no later than noon the day of the meeting. Are there any regrets? I see all members of the Budget Committee are here today. Very good. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? See none. Very good. And I'll let you know that the next meeting will be on Thursday, November 17th, again here in the Council chambers at 1 o'clock. We will be beginning with a presentation of the Budget Committee materials, and Ray Green, you'll be starting us off, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you Mr. Chair, Mayor Burton, members of the committee. Today, of course, we'll be presenting the recommended 2017 operating and capital budget, and I'll be calling on Nancy Sully in a few moments to come up and walk you through many of the details. But I want to start off by giving a broader context to the budget as it's being presented to you. This is, in fact, our 6th consecutive budget where we have met Council's target of an overall budget increase in line with inflation. To achieve this goal over the past 10 years or so, we've actually looked at every facet of all of our operating town operating budgets. In fact, if I go back to 2008, which is perhaps the most severe global economic recession that many of us have lived through, staff put in place for Council a budget which looked at keeping positions vacant, deferring spending so that we could actually position ourselves to come through that recession, and someday I hope we actually do come out the other end of that recession. It certainly feels like an awful long one. But when you look at some of the reductions that we made in staffing and spending back then, those costs and those staff never came back into the budget. We found workarounds to deal. 2011, staff undertook a very thorough review of all of our services, and we looked at the opportunities for potential savings through service reductions. We spent time with Council looking at our services, and really, Council made it quite clear when we look at what our citizens treasure and in terms of service, we give good value. And Council was not looking for any changes to the level of services. In fact, when in our citizen surveys, I think each one has always been clear that the citizens do value the services that we provide. So following that, I gave a commitment to Council that while we're not reducing any levels of service, I would look at ways to achieve other savings in our budget. In fact, that commitment was to find about $3 million over a 3-year period. In fact, by 2013, we had completed that review, and we actually implemented over $3 million of permanent savings. And this was done without cutting existing services. Staff recognizes, though, in the current environment, and I think continues to be a citizen expectation and the expectation of Council, that future budget increases will stay in line with inflation on the overall basis. So this calls really for a new approach by staff in looking at future budgets here. As Council knows, with growth that is coming, growth does not pay for itself, neither in the capital or the operating. And so we'll be looking at ways of how do we contain costs. In fact, if you look at the next couple of years, we'll actually be bringing on the new South Central, we'll be bringing on a fire hall in Palermo. All of these will add costs above inflation. So as there will be complete pressure on our budgets going forward, and what I'm looking at doing is initiating another review starting next year to begin to look at our service delivery and how we in fact might deliver services in different ways. Again, maintaining levels of service, but really focusing on our service delivery. So in the Early in the new year, we're just starting to look at that process, how that would unfold, what that would take, and I anticipate early in the new year that I will be providing council with a report on how we will begin to do our review, which we anticipate will take us about 2 years, and that we'll be striving to stay within council's guidelines. We continue, and one thing I'm always very proud of, we continue to be a very fiscally strong community. In fact, we're recognized right across this province for our fiscal strength. But with that, you still need to be efficient and effective, and that is my area of focus for the next couple of years. So while today is about the 2017 operating and capital budgets, I want council to be confident that we have our eye on the ball and that we'll continue to look at ways to stay within council's guidelines. So those are my comments, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to turn it over to Nancy, who will walk you through the highlights. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Through you, Mr. Chair, in 2016, staff were given direction to prepare our future budgets in line with inflation. I want to assure you that the budget being presented today is in accordance with that guideline. We'll just, maybe I should wait just a second till we get the slides on the screen here. Okay, sorry. My presentation today will provide an overview of our 2017 operating and capital budgets and a brief overview of the rates and fees, which are also included on today's agenda. Our budget documents have been distributed this afternoon, and our commissioner presentations will take place this Thursday. Budget deliberations are scheduled for December the 6th and final approval at Council on December the 12th. Council set the target for the budget at an overall increase in line with inflation. For budget purposes, we are using 1.9%, which was the core inflation rate at the time of budget development. There are no service reductions in our recommended budget. Our budget ensures the programs and services valued by our residents are maintained and ensures our strong financial position is also maintained. Our budget incorporates the operating costs of completed capital projects, continues our past practice of ensuring sufficient funding for infrastructure renewal. In order to achieve the budget guideline, there are no new requests that are being brought forward for Council's consideration at this time. However, there are 3 Budget Committee referrals that have been incorporated in the proposed budget. We continue to prepare our budget using PB2, or Performance-Based Program-Based Budgeting methodology. Our focus is on the programs and services and the outcomes that are desired from those programs. Our performance measures continue to be refined to increase effectiveness in reporting our results. The measures are included in our program business plans and include a 5-year trend to allow the reader the opportunity to look at performance over time. In addition to the performance measures included in the budget document, the town is launching a custom livable Oakville dashboard. This dashboard features 29 measures which help to show the town's progress towards its goal to be the most livable town in Canada. As well, the town has recently joined the World Council on City Data and will be completing ISO 37120 certification by submitting 100 standardized measures. This slide just shows a screenshot of our Livable Oakville Performance Dashboard. The 29 measures are captured under 8 categories, and while I can't show you here, if you were to click on any one of these, there are performance measures underneath each one, and each of those measures have a rating, which then rolls up to the overall rating under that category. We've rated them either green, as they're exceeding or meeting the target, yellow or gold, near target, red for needs improvement, and then we have some measures that we're watching, and those mostly are data that's coming from other sources that impact on the town's livability. As a lower tier municipality, the town is one portion of the overall tax bill, representing approximately 40%. The remaining 60% is levied on behalf of the region and the province for education purposes. The budget I'm presenting today focuses on that 40% share of the overall bill. When this is combined with the region and education, it gives you the overall increase that residents will see on their tax bill. and it reflects the cost of providing all municipal services and comparable with single-tier municipalities such as Toronto or Hamilton. Our budget can really be divided into two components. The first provides for the same level of service as currently exists. It includes inflationary increases and volume adjustments on expenses and revenues to maintain existing service levels, the operating costs related to infrastructure that was approved through our capital budget, as well as the annualized impact of any service enhancements that were approved in 2016. As you'll see shortly, this component comes in below core inflation. The second component provides a growing source of revenue to maintain and replace existing infrastructure, ensuring optimal value from town assets. In accordance with Regulation 28409, our executive summary provides some information on the impact budgeting for amortization costs would have on the town budget. As the information shows, if we were required to budget for amortization, it would not have an impact on our budget, as we currently transfer more money from our operating budget into reserves and our capital program for infrastructure renewal than our amortization costs. We are in the process of completing a strategic asset management plan for the town. This plan will create a roadmap and governance structure for town assets. An important component of the plan is identifying the funding requirements to meet service levels and a financing plan to ensure that those service levels can be maintained. The funding allocated to infrastructure renewal in our budget will help us ensure that our plan is sustainable going forward. As Ray indicated, it was not easy to meet Council's guideline for an overall increase in line with inflation. Some difficult decisions had to be made. And while there are no reductions to service levels, there are no service enhancement that could be included in our budget, with the exception of the Budget Committee referrals that have been identified on this slide. The referrals listed above, plus the ones not currently incorporated in the budget, will be discussed by Commissioners on Thursday. In addition to the referrals, Year 2 of the Transit Service Plan has not been included in the proposed budget. Deferring Year 2 of the plan will provide time to ensure ridership targets associated with the Year 1 enhancements have a chance to take effect. Year 1 of the Transit Service Plan was introduced in September, and the costs of that enhancement have been annualized in our budget. Assessment growth generates new taxes without increasing the tax levy. Assessment growth results from new properties added to our tax roll or increases to assessment based on improvements or additions to new properties. It does not include additional revenue from CBA impacts. We know going forward there are significant pressures on the tax levy in the next few years as new facilities either planned or under construction come into operation. These include the Arena and Fire Station at Trafalgar Park, our Southeast Community Centre, and the fire station in Palermo. In order to smooth the impact these facilities will have on the tax levy in coming years, we are proposing that any additional revenue from assessment growth this year that exceeds 1% be transferred to the Tax Stabilization Reserve to be used to soften the impact as those facilities become operational. This chart just summarizes the components I spoke of earlier. In order to maintain existing services and annualize the impact of our service enhancements from last year, the town's increase is 1.58%, or 0.64% on the overall tax bill. When we add in the capital levy, funding for road resurfacing, as well as the 3 Budget Committee referrals that have been included, it brings our total proposed increase to 2.8%, or 1.13% on the overall tax bill. When the region of Halton's proposed increase of 1.9%, and assuming no increase in education, the overall increase on the tax bill will be 1.83%, or $15.14 per 100,000 of assessment. The town's gross expenditures are $308.5 million in 2017. This is the cost of running all town programs and services. While the gross cost was $308.5 million, the net tax levy for the program is $178.8 million. This chart shows the tax levy funding by program. Net program budgets differ from the allocation of gross expenditures, as many of our programs have user fees which help subsidize the cost. The largest program is emergency services at $35.3 million. This is followed by transit at just over $22 million and infrastructure maintenance at just slightly below $22 million. Our corporate support includes back office functions such as legal, HR, finance, etc. Out of each $100 of taxes paid by a resident in Oakville for town purposes, $24 goes towards infrastructure renewal. This is followed by $20 for emergency services, $14 for a road network, $12 for transit, all the way down to $2 for political governance, culture, and community development. Overall, the net program increase in our proposed budget is $6.6 million. The largest increase is in corporate revenues and expenses, and that reflects the annual capital levy. Of the operating programs, the largest increase is in infrastructure maintenance. The increase in this program is driven by hydro costs, as well as inflationary impacts on contracted services, the cost associated with maintaining new roads and infrastructure, as well as new equipment purchased through our capital budget. The increase in emergency services is primarily driven by wage and benefit increases. Information Systems supports all town software. Approximately 62% of the increase in this program relates to software maintenance and software as a service cost increases. This includes the software maintenance costs associated with Microsoft, J.D. Edwards, Amanda, Class, and many of the other programs used by town departments. Oakville Transit accounts for $650,000 of the increase. The increase reflects the annualization of the first year of the transit service plan, which has a net impact in 2017 of $762,000. The increase has been partially offset by a reduction in fuel costs. Balance of the increase is spread among the remaining programs, and it reflects inflation and expanding service due to growth on our town programs. I do want to note that the one-time savings related to the temporary closure of Oakville Arena have been transferred to reserves to smooth the impact when that facility reopens. As a result, the Recreation and Culture budget has not been reduced due to the closure. Likewise, the savings associated with the temporary closure of the Iroquois Ridge Library branch have remained in the library budget. The Library Board has requested that they be used to fund one-time costs associated with the implementation of their strategic plan. There are 3 programs that have decreased in tax levy support. The largest decrease is in planning services. Revenue in this program has decreased over 2016 budgeted levels. However, a transfer from the reserves has been used to bring the program to its target cost recovery rate of 59%. The cost recovery rate is higher than 2016, when it was 53%, and this is based on further refinement of the time spent by town staff on the processing of applications. The reserve transfer has been used to smooth the impact of fluctuations in planning revenue on our operating budget, to the extent possible in 2017 and 2018. To ensure that when the reserve funding is removed in 2019, there is not a significant impact on the tax levy, we will be looking at ways to mitigate this impact in the coming months. This chart shows you the gross expenditures by cost component rather than program. The largest component of our expenditures is personnel services and benefits, and that includes not only inflationary increases on wages, but also the annualization of new positions that were approved last year, any positions required through the capital budget, as well as the introduction of the municipal enforcement strategy and the private tree bylaw. Transfers to reserves account for 23% of our gross expenditures. This category includes funding transferred to our capital budget, as well as transfers to reserves to ensure sufficient funding to meet replacement needs for vehicles, equipment, and facilities. Purchase services comprise 11% of the budget and had a slight increase due to inflation. Our materials and supply budget reflects our anticipated increase in hydro costs. We're anticipating costs to increase by 10% next year. The impact of this has been partially offset by a reduction in our fuel budget. In 2016, we budgeted 95 cents a liter. As you will see in the next quarterly report, we've seen significant savings in fuel this year with the average cost of around 80 cents. For 2017, we budgeted 85 cents a liter, and this reflects the impact cap and trade will have on fuel prices. We are recommending that any savings from fuel go into our stabilization reserves, and in the case if the cost was to exceed 85 cents, we would draw from that reserve to mitigate the impact on the operations. Based on the staff recommended budget, taxation accounts for 58% of our overall revenues. This is followed by fees and charges at 22%. And I do want to note that our fees and charges include the fee increases that are proposed in the rates and fee schedule on today's agenda. There is a chart identifying the referrals to the Budget Committee in the report found on today's agenda. As well, the referrals are shown in Table 6 on page 17 of our executive summary. As noted earlier, 3 of the items have been included in the proposed budget. However, all items will need to be considered by the committee during budget deliberations. As well as these 6, there was one referral, I believe, by Council last night for the digital strategy, which will be discussed by Commissioner Lalonde on Thursday. And as well, the Canada 150 update report indicated that if we did not receive the one-time funding of $93,000 that was submitted, that we would come back for funding to cover the one-time costs. We haven't as yet heard on the funding and whether it's been approved, but there may be a report coming back from our Recreation and Culture Department on that once we know. The other item for consideration is the second year of the Transit Service Plan. While it's not included in the budget, as we've recognized the need to give the first year improvements a chance to take hold before moving forward, it is still there for Council's consideration. Year 2 identified new staff requirements and proposed an increase to Sunday service. If it was approved, it would add approximately $600,000 to the proposed budget, or 0.35% on the tax levy, and an annualized impact of an additional $160,000. The overall impact of the proposed budget is 1.83%. It meets Council's guideline, is fiscally sustainable, and ensures the programs and services valued by our residents are maintained. It also ensures sufficient funding to operate and maintain new assets and provides the funding required to maintain our existing infrastructure. Our budget documents distributed today are posted on the town website. In addition to an executive summary, the book includes a business plan for each of our town programs. This year, we have streamlined the business plans to provide key facts related to each program, as well as performance measures showing 5-year trends. Information on reserves, debt, and town staff complement are also included in the budget document. A separate document has been prepared for the 2017 capital budget and 9-year forecast. This document provides a detailed description and budget for each of the projects in the forecast, as well as the financing plan for our capital program. The 2018 and 2019 forecasts are being presented for information to assist the Budget Committee and Council in looking at our projected increases over the next 2 years. The projections include inflationary increases, operating impacts from capital, and the phase-in of the private tree bylaw and the municipal enforcement strategy. No other service enhancements are included at this time. This shows the proposed increases over the next 3 years. For 2017, as I indicated, 2.8% is our proposed increase. The largest driver there is inflation, followed by our capital levies. In 2018, right now we're proposing 2.6%, and in 2019 it does increase to 5.3%, and this reflects the impact of the new facilities coming on board. This is our starting point for 2018 and 2019. We will work towards Council's direction in those years. And as Ray indicated, we will be looking at the way we deliver services and looking for efficiencies in the way that services are delivered in order to come in at Council's guideline. This shows the overall increase for the proposed budget and the following 2-year forecasts. Again, the forecast assumes no increase in service beyond those implemented through the existing capital budget and the recommended budget referrals. Up until now, I've been talking about the operating budget. I'd now like to provide some highlights of our long-term capital forecast and then the 2017 capital budget. Our 2017 capital budget is being presented for approval by the Budget Committee and Council. We've also included the long-term forecast for information purposes. Our forecast is important as it provides information on the long-term plan for the town of Oakville. It is based on existing master plans. Many of those master plans are in the process of being updated in preparation for a development charge background study work that will begin next year. As a result, there's been very minor changes to the forecast from what was presented last year. We have updated costing, but for the most part, our project timing has remained the same. The capital program being presented today is fiscally sustainable in accordance with Council's strategic goals. A sustainable long-term plan ensures that flexibility is maintained over the long term and financial risk exposure is limited. It also ensures the long-term cost of financing is minimized, statutory requirements are met, and credit rating criteria is considered. These were all key considerations that went into the development of our forecast. As there will be a major update to the forecast, again, we've only made minor changes at this time. The 10-year forecast incorporates the projects required to achieve Council's strategic priorities, the recommendations from master plans and infrastructure needs, both for renewal and for growth. It also incorporates the impact of operating costs arising from new facilities, town debt levels, reserves, reserve funds, and future tax requirements are considered. Our plan is predicated on several policies and assumptions. Debt repayment levels must remain within Council's approved guideline, and the total outstanding debt to reserve ratio remains at 1-to-1 or better throughout the forecast. This helps ensure the region's AAA credit rating is maintained as municipal debt rating agencies look to this indicator. The forecast assumes the 1% capital levy continues, as it is an important source of funding in our forecast and allows us to renew our infrastructure without using debt. However, we will be looking at funding requirements as part of the asset management strategic plan, and we will be looking at whether this assumption needs to remain for the life of the forecast going forward. Our growth projects have been timed to reflect anticipated development and cash flows, returning the reserve funds to a positive position by the end of the forecast. And funding for equipment and replacement reserves has been set at levels to ensure adequate funding to maintain and replace our assets. Again, this year, our forecast is divided into 5 components. Infrastructure renewal includes projects required to maintain our existing assets in a state of good repair. Our growth projects are projects that have come out of our development charge background study and are required due to population growth, while strategic priorities include initiatives required to achieve Council's strategic plan. And our community enhancements are improvements or enhancements that may not be required due to growth, but have been identified by the community as desirable. And our enterprise initiatives support the ongoing initiatives within our self-funded programs. Our 10-year capital forecast totals just over $1 billion. The largest component is infrastructure renewal, followed by our growth projects. This slide shows the level of spending for each category over the next 10 years. Our infrastructure renewal spending remains fairly consistent at about $48 million per year. Our growth spending has been aligned with expected growth patterns in the community and our DC cash flows. As a result, growth projects increase at the latter part of the forecast. Strategic priority spending is higher in the earlier years, as it includes funding for our LED streetlight conversion program and our EAB program, both of which are underway. Community enhancement spending relates to funding for things like our Southeast Community Center. And there's a small amount of spending each year for enterprise initiatives in accordance with their infrastructure renewal needs. Infrastructure renewal is the largest component of our capital forecast at $477 million over the 10-year period. Planned spending includes $99 million for roads, $105 million for vehicle and equipment replacements, funding for facility renewals, road bridge replacements, etc. A capital levy is the largest funding source for infrastructure renewal. The remainder of the funding is primarily from reserves, which have been set aside to ensure our assets can be replaced at the end of their useful life. And while planned replacements are based on the town's asset management plan, the timing and priorities for renewal and replacement will be further refined as we complete our strategic asset management plan. This plan involves all departments responsible for managing town assets and will provide a roadmap for management and acquisition of our assets going forward. Gross spending over the 10-year period totals $407 million. Funding in this category includes new vehicles and equipment, buses purchases, as well as the Kerr Street widening and grade separation. There's also funding for new parks and parkettes required due to growth. The timing of our growth projects again has been aligned with our DC reserves. The development charge reserves is the largest funding source for our growth program. Gas tax has been used to supplement some expenditures in our transit program, and external revenues account for 14%. Capital levy and reserve funds are also used to fund the town's share of growth projects. Studies show that overall, growth-related costs are recovered approximately 80% through development charges. This has been our experience as well. The percentage will vary, though, year to year, depending on the projects and their eligibility for development charge funding. External revenues make up a larger share of our forecast this year, as we have assumed federal and provincial funding towards the Burloak grade separation, as well PTIF funding, or public transit infrastructure funding, for our transit projects. If this funding was not to materialize, we may have to push some projects out. In addition to the funding assumptions for PTIF and federal funding, we've also been made aware of funding available to the town through the Clean Waste and Wastewater Fund. The town is submitting projects for that funding, and we may require, as part of the budget deliberations, to move those projects forward into the 2017 budget so that they can be approved should the funding appear. Our strategic priorities account for $66.7 million of our forecast. This category, the largest portion of this category, is our parks and open space, accounting for $25 million. Of this amount, over $23 million is for our EAB program. The hospital demolition, website enhancements, and the LED streetlight conversion program are also included in this category. Funding for strategic priorities comes largely from our capital levy and reserves. There's a small debt component, and that is for the LED streetlight conversion program, and the energy savings are offsetting the debt costs in our budget. Community enhancements include the projects that enhance our community. In total, $72.4 million over the 10 years has been budgeted in this category, and this includes the Trafalgar Park revitalization, as well as the Southeast Community Center, and works on our waterfront trails and splash pads and parks. Funding in this category largely comes from our capital reserves. There is a portion of DC funding for the Southeast Community Center, as that project is partially driven through growth. Enterprise initiatives include projects that support our self-funded programs, such as harbors, cemeteries, and parking. They represent the smallest component of our forecast at $16.1 million over the 10-year period. Harbors is the largest program in this category. While the previous slides provided an overview of the capital plan by category, this chart shows our spending by program. As can be seen, infrastructure planning far exceeds the spending in other programs, accounting for 46% of our forecast. The second largest program is parks and open space, including new parks required due to growth, refurbishment of existing parks and trails, as well as forestry projects. This shows the funding for all components of our forecast. The capital levy, or contribution from our operating budget, as well as development charges, are the largest source of funding in our 10-year plan at 57% of total funding. Other significant sources of funding include our building maintenance and equipment reserves at 14% and the capital reserves at 13%. It is council policy that tax-supported debt be capped at 6.25% and total debt at 12%. Both of these guidelines are well below the provincial guideline of 25%. As you can see from this slide, both self-supported and tax levy-supported debt are well below council's guidelines. Our total outstanding debt principal over the life of our forecast will drop from $130 million in 2016 to below $70 million by the end of the 10-year period. The only funding, or the only debt that's being issued or recommended in our forecast, is for the LED streetlight conversion program. Our hospital debt does decline at a slower rate than our other debt, as it was issued for a 30-year period. Our financial plan has been carefully constructed to ensure the town's debt-to-reserve ratio is maintained at 1-to-1 or better, as recommended by municipal debt rating agencies. As you can see, we do remain at 1-to-1 or better, well, better than 1-to-1 throughout the life of our forecast. When determining the region's credit rating, the rating agencies look at the financial picture of the local municipalities. Having prudent financial policies in place, such as the town does, ensure that the region maintains their AAA credit rating. When we review the long-term financial plan, we also have to consider the impact capital budgets will have on our operating budget. Operating impacts include the cost to staff and run facilities, drive buses, and support the growth in our road and park network. This chart shows the anticipated impact the projects will have on the operating budget over the 10-year period. In 2017, the operating impacts total $1.2 million. The operating impacts do spike in 2019 through 2021 with the opening of Trafalgar Park, Southeast Community Centre, and Fire Station 8 in Palermo. While the previous slide showed the dollar impact on the operating budget, this chart shows the impact that the capital budget will have on our tax levy over the 10-year period. Council has directed annual increases in line with inflation. The tax levy impact of our capital accounts for a large percentage of this in some of these years coming forward. This is why we are recommending that we transfer any additional assessment growth to our tax stabilization reserve. We can then draw on that to smooth the impact through these years. The previous slides provided the highlights of our long-term financial plan. The next few slides provide information on our proposed 2017 capital budget. In total, the 2017 capital program is $122.8 million. The largest share of the budget is for infrastructure renewal, followed by growth and strategic priorities. This shows the spending by program. Again, consistent with our 10-year forecast, the largest program is infrastructure planning and includes funding for roads, bridges, stormwater projects. This shows the funding sources for our proposed 2017 capital budget. The largest source of funding is our capital reserves, followed by our capital levy and development charges. The top 10 largest capital projects in 2017 account for $69 million of the $122.8 million proposed. And as this chart shows, the largest projects include the Trafalgar Park revitalization, Lakeshore Road Bridge at 16 Mile Creek, our road resurfacing program, as well as the demolition of the old hospital site. We are projecting reserves and reserve funds to total $200 million at the end of 2017. This is based on the projected ending balance in our reserves as shown in our second quarter financial progress report, as well as the transfers to and from reserves in our 2017 budget. The development charge reserve fund balance is based on projected permit activity in 2017. While on previous slides I showed the outstanding debt over the 10-year period, this slide shows the outstanding debt for 2017 and based on the activity in our proposed budget. That ends my presentation on the operating and the capital budgets. I do have just a couple of slides on the proposed rates and fees, which I was going to continue with now, if that's okay. All right. As part of our annual budget process, the rates and fees are reviewed by departments to ensure they reflect the cost of delivering service. They are proposed in accordance with our rates and fee policy, which was approved by Council in 2012. The purpose of that policy is to ensure consistency, transparency, and accountability in the way our fees are set across the organization. We have posted the fees on the town website since November 4th to allow the public time to review them. As well, notice was placed in the Oakville Beaver advertising today's meeting. Most of our programs are subsidized to a large extent by the tax levy. Our policy ensures that programs that have greater benefit to the person have a higher user fee percentage to them, as opposed to ones with a public benefit. So for instance, our Parks and Open Space program would have a lower level of user fees, as there's a broader public benefit to our Parks and Open Space, Whereas if I was to apply for a building permit, those fees cover 100% of the cost of producing that permit, as I'm the one that's going to benefit from that service. The fee schedules include a high-level recovery target, and where applicable, how close to the target we are. It's very difficult to put a cost recovery target against every fee, as when we look at them through our policy, we look at them by categories and ensure that they're maintaining the percentages that are desired. We have tried to address the request last year as part of the 2016 budget to show the recovery level. So you'll see at the top of each chart, it'll show what the recovery target is, and if applicable, how close to that target we are. Our fees have been reviewed to ensure cost recovery ratios are maintained and to ensure we're not putting increased pressure on our tax levy. We are cognizant of the affordability of our programs, and a great deal of care is taken in setting our fees and proposing increases. We have to look at competitiveness in the marketplace, but we also have to look at ensuring that our fees keep pace with costs. Otherwise, we're shifting those costs onto the general taxpayer. Most of the fee increases proposed in the rates and fee book are inflationary. There are some fees that exceed inflation, for instance, in our planning services area, where there's been further refinement of our costing model that has resulted in some fee increases beyond inflation. For next steps, the budget documents have been distributed today. They will be posted on the website this afternoon. As I said earlier, the Commissioner presentations are scheduled for Thursday, and they'll provide more information on the various program budgets that I've highlighted today. This meeting is followed by 2 meetings next week for public delegations, one in the morning and one in the evening. This gives residents an opportunity to participate in our budget process, and our budget deliberations are scheduled for December 6th and final council approval on December the 12th. There are many ways for the public to take part in our budget process. All of the information is on the website. There's copies of the executive summary available for members of the public. And residents can provide input through the budget email or by making delegations to the budget committee. And 2 budget open houses have been scheduled to provide an informal setting should residents wish to ask questions on the proposed budget. All meetings are televised on YouTube, and that concludes my presentation on the 2017 operating and capital budget. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, and you do have some questions. I have Councillor Robinson who has a question for you. Could we get your mic on, Councillor Robinson?
I got 3 matters I'd like to talk to you about. 2 of them are very generic and somewhat historical, and I'm asking these to find out how we're doing. And the very first presentation you talked about was the residential property tax bill, and you showed how the 3 parts of the region shared in the cost. Can you show us the same type of graph chart for the 2 previous years so we can see how things have been moving?
Oh, for our share of the total tax bill?
The same design for the 3 bodies, the region.
Yeah, certainly, we can provide that. We can provide that for you on Thursday.
I'd like to see that information.
Sure.
Thank you. The second one would be the net program increase, which is showing $6.6 million for 2017.
Yes,
Could we see the same information for the 2 previous years?
certainly.
So we can make that comparison.
Sure,
And the
certainly.
third one, Mr. Chair, is the 10 largest capital projects, and you're showing infrastructure planning, Great Lakes Boulevard. Can you tell me what part of Great Lakes Boulevard that's taking place in?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm not 100% sure. It will be in the project description. I don't have them in front of me.
Okay, if you can tell me later on where to look, I can find it myself.
Certainly, we'll show you. in the
Okay,
book.
thanks. Thank you.
Okay, so
That's all, Mr. Chair.
very good. So we'll make sure we get an answer to that last question for you. Councillor Elgar?
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation. We've got a lot of information. I'm not sure I've got it all sorted out in my head yet. What I'd like to know is annually, how much are we subsidizing in both the operating and the capital on development charges that we're not collecting? The number. I know at the region, they've said it's basically 10 million annually that the regional taxpayers are subsidizing anything to do with development. And I'm wondering where our number sits.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we can report back on that. We do know in capital, over the life of the study, it was about 80% funded through it. We'll have to look at the operating and see the subsidy there, but we can report back on that.
Yeah, and we could sort out the operating and the capital?
Yes.
I appreciate that. Again, similar to Councillor Robinson, the net program increase, to see the hard number too on the same page would be good. Like if we go back like 2013, 2014,
Certainly.
2015.
We will provide that
to
for you.
Try to see how big is the envelope. It would help.
Certainly.
And the other thing, as far as public input, I know we have the date, but could you tell us the date and the time of day when the public has a chance to provide the input to us?
The public delegations are November 22nd, next Tuesday, I believe at 9:30 a.m. and next Thursday evening at 7 p.m.
Okay, because I think that'll be helpful, so that they would know that. And at this time, I guess, have to wait and try sorting the numbers. A lot of numbers here, but the most important thing, I think we got to let the people know how much we're subsidizing. I appreciate that, and I thank you.
Further questions? Councillor Hutchins, did you have a question about heritage?
Thank you. I understand the heritage budget is being recommended a 100,000 increase from 80,000, and I certainly encourage that because I believe there's a huge uprise in uptake of grants, which encourages people to do a lot more. And since Oakville is very keen on its heritage and making sure that heritage people with houses comply with all our requests, I would like to ask, can that budget figure of 100,000 be looked at, maybe raising it a little bit more? Because some 87% of the people, as I read, who replied to the grants, said they wouldn't have completed their heritage restorations had there not been some sort of grant. So because we're getting, we provided 80,000 and we get a 1,022,000 increase in development for the heritage, I thought having if staff could take a look at maybe looking at that number again and perhaps raising it to maybe 120 so that we get even more of a lift.
Through you, Mr. Chair, the report on the heritage grants is on the agenda for Thursday, and Commissioner Clohessy will be speaking to it, and certainly staff can look at that. I do want to let you know that the 100,000 is not currently in the proposed budget, but there is room under the guidelines should Council wish to add that in as part of their recommendations. But certainly Commissioner Clohessy can speak to that on Thursday.
Other questions? Councillor Lischina?
Thank you, Chair. I'm not sure if, thank you. Nancy, I'm not sure if you are able to answer this because I recall last year CEO Green discussed economy of scale with respect to the IS budget, information systems, with respect to working with other municipalities to get a bigger bang for our buck, basically. And I'm just wondering what the status of that is.
Information systems undertakes cooperative ventures wherever they can. I can speak to those a little bit more in my presentation on Thursday. But for example, we participate in the Halton Purchasing Group, and where we can get economies of scale on purchases, we do. There's a large system that's going on that we're investigating right now for recreation and culture to replace the registration system that we have in place right now. And they've been actively looking at other organizations to see if we can partner with them. We have amalgamated much of the back office activity for the Oakville Library, so there's not two systems in place. There's one network system and one server system for all of the activities that are going on at Oakville Public Library as well as at the town. phone systems and all of those sorts of things are shared. And we do have as well, or we have had many smaller partnerships with different municipalities around different database services where we combine our efforts. So I can be more specific, but that's really what comes to my mind off the top of my head.
So we have realized savings in those areas.
Oh, yes, it would mainly be cost avoidance. I don't think it would translate into hard savings very often, but we do avoid costs by amalgamating as much as we can.
Any further questions? Members of the committee? Okay, then I have a couple of questions that I want to bring up if I could. I've had some discussions already with various members of the public, the chamber, so I've had some consultations already. I have a little bit of feedback, and as a result, a few questions that I want to provide to staff for them to come back with information later on. One of them is on leaf collection zones. Committee and council have discussed expansion of leaf collection zones many times in the past, and yet again, there's a question about leaf collection zones and what's the appropriate space for them. Could staff provide a report on that matter, please?
Certainly, through you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chair.
And we've already had a discussion about the heritage funding, and staff will provide a report on that matter. Could staff also provide some comment or a draft report on alternative operating models for operation of community centers? Our staff, you've already discussed that today to some extent, but I think that's a matter that needs to be dealt with. Could staff provide a report on the total federal funding that's within the budget and what might be expected under the various infrastructure programs?
Certainly.
Fortunately or unfortunately, as the case might be, it appears that the infrastructure funding is coming out in various components, and it makes it difficult, I think, for people to understand what the net change is and how that's impacting our programs.
Certainly.
Thank you. Could staff provide a report on how we could improve our public education around the impact of the MPAC assessment changes? There's appears to be a great deal of confusion about what happens when you get your assessment notice and your house is now dramatically more valuable than it might have been 4 years ago, and a lot of concern around that, and I think it's important for us to provide some effort at telling people what happens to their taxes when that happens.
Certainly.
Councillor Elgar has already asked a question about subsidy for development and what the dollar figures are within our operating and a capital piece. And we've had some questions here now about historical net program increases. So those are a number of items that have come up. And the last one that I think I wonder if our staff can deal with on Thursday is the library program and how its strategic planning process is functioning.
Sorry, the strategic planning process for the library?
So as I understand it, the library is going through a planning process to decide what it wants to do in the future. And I wonder if staff could report on that process and its impact on our capital planning.
Certainly.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, then looking forward, there was a question about the input times from Councillor Elgar about when we're going to be having public delegation days. We do have the 2 public delegation days before this committee. We also have 2 open houses being planned on the 19th and the 21st. The first is a Saturday morning at 9:30 over at Glen Abbey Rec Center, and the other is on the 21st in the evening, and that one's being held at Central Library, and I believe the time for that one is at, do we have it for 7? Just let me double check that. Yeah, we do have that one for 7 p.m. in the evening. So those are a variety of options. I'm always available for any members of the public who wish to meet and have a discussion on any particular item to provide some feedback or some questions. So don't think there are any members of the public here, but I will call for any members of the public here who might have some questions or delegation information for us today. Any members of the public here today who wish to provide comments or speak? I see none. Very good. Then members of committee, For today, we have two discussion items that are formally on the agenda. The first is the overview of the 2017 operating capital budget and forecast. We're looking for the recommendation is that the overview presentation from the Deputy Treasurer on the 2017 operating capital budget and forecast be received. Councillor Robinson has moved that. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And the second item is regarding the 2017 rates and fees. The recommendation is that the rates and fees established in the rates and fees schedule attached as Appendix A to the September 22nd, 2016 report from the Finance Department be reviewed for implementation on January 1st, 2017 and incorporated into the 2017 operating budget. 2, that the bylaw 2016-078, a bylaw to provide for the establishment of fees to be charged in the processing of applications made in respect of planning matters subject to supplemental notes, and to repeal bylaw 2015-109 be approved. 3, that amendments to existing bylaws containing fees be presented directly to council for approval as required. And I just want to confirm with staff, this recommendation is in a way already incorporated within the presented budget, and will be approving these rates and fees formally on December 12th in any event. And so should the committee wish to make a modification or amendment to the rates and fees and recommend that to budget, we could do that on December 6th.
Yes, you could, through you, Mr. Chair.
Very
Yes.
good. Okay, so that's the recommendation from our staff. Could I have Councillor Hutchins has moved that. All those in favor? That's carried. Okay. Any other comments, questions, members of the committee before we adjourn? Very good. Then we're adjourned until 1 o'clock on Thursday. I'll see you all then.